Right, we are recording.
All right, great. So just for the sake of everyone who will see this, welcome. We've done our due diligence on this company as far as possible, having Zoom calls with the owners. And from what we can discern of this company, it's a South African-based company, started in 2019. And what they basically do is they buy some advertising space, and they do this over 30 different platforms. Obviously, that's their own personal IP. And they basically said that they want to be around for the next 10, if not 100 years. So they're definitely thinking, generational wealth and trying to be a company that can be very transparent and honest. I think they've also taken a couple of knocks in their Bitcoin career with different platforms that have only been around for 5 months, 8 months, 10 months. So they actually came together and decided to build something that can generate a great return for people. And one of the key things that we try to do within our strategy, because I do believe that we try to begin with as little capital as possible, and how do we grow that, leverage platforms, and then diversify into multiple streams of income, as well as then get into commodities such as silver and gold, and then potentially property. So for those of you on the call, this platform is called Finalmente, and as I said, South African-based company. They basically started this community to be transparent and give people an opportunity to leverage their Bitcoin. So a lot of their companies pay them in Bitcoin. A lot of their transactions are done in Bitcoin. So they actually take a lot of the Bitcoin into a cold storage wallet, and then the long-term strategy is to actually insure the Bitcoin. I obviously know how expensive it is to actually get insurance on cryptocurrency. So I do believe that they're trying to leverage and grow as far as possible before they want to do that. They did have a company that had insurance for them out in Sandton. But then obviously there were a lot of scam sites that just disappeared with people's Bitcoin, and that company actually stopped offering insurance. So the good thing is that they do want to insure people's capital at some point. When that will happen, they said obviously they're looking into it 3 months, 6 months, a year. They're not 100% sure when they would have enough members and enough people in the platform. So for me, it was very important to test this platform and then to be able to see how it works. So they've got something called the Uno Starter, okay? And each platform that you can put Bitcoin into, they do not take any fiat currency, which is great because that keeps them, away from all the financial legislation in South Africa. And with this platform, you'll see that there's a minimum deposit plan of 0.001 Bitcoin. It gives you a growth of 4.25% hourly. So you make a basic 101%. So you basically make 1% in a day. So that allows you to basically grow. And this platform, you will see that the principal is not returned. So basically a platform where you can test it, and you can use the money that you put into this plan for advertising or just to repurchase and grow. So I don't advise that you put money into this platform if you want to actually withdraw, but it's just something for you to test to see that it works. And that, this is the one that I started with, which my friend recommended. They do have a compound strategy, so they do want your Bitcoin to grow. And obviously some of the things that they invest into, like their advertising space and things that they purchase, some of that runs for 14 days and some of it runs for 30 days. So they also do not want people to withdraw all the Bitcoin, because then some of the plans will, the contracts that they have in place will not be honored. So this platform, you can start with 0.001 and it gives you 107% over 7 days. So your capital is locked for 7 days, and then they give you 7% return. But once you've had your return, they force you to reinvest 93%. So you basically, on withdrawal, once you withdraw the Bitcoin, they take 1% withdrawal fee. Okay. So you're basically making around about 13% that you can actually take out. So 7% of your original capital and then the 6% growth. This platform, if you follow a good strategy that myself and Martin and the team will put together, is you can actually have multiple plans. So if you put, let's say, $100 in on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can basically be making 6% on your capital every single day, which will build up to about 42% in a week if you have 7 plans. So that way you never actually take out your capital, but you're actually taking out around about 42% in a week, which is phenomenal return. If you just let this thing run out and take out the capital that is available to be withdrawn every week, it will take you about 10 weeks to take out all of your money. So that's about 2.5 months to take out your capital. And then you've also made around about 70% on your money. This platform, I haven't had a look at, but basically this is one of the other plans where your capital is invested for 14 days. You make a growth of around about 57% weekly. It's about 0.035% of a Bitcoin that you have to put in, but they do force you to reinvest 84%. Okay. So there's a couple of calculations that we still want to do with regards to, what are the best plans and what are the best strategies for those that do have a bit of money. But I first wanted to make sure that the withdrawal works and that the plan works and that we've met the owners. And that has basically, we've ticked all those boxes. So we will now start playing around. This platform I saw is something new. It wasn't on about a week ago, which is fantastic. So I actually put some money into this today, Martin. The minimum, I mean, look at that. It's like 0.501 of a Bitcoin, which is ridiculous. You can literally enter this with very, very little money. And it's 14% over 14 days. Okay. What I like about this is your principal is returned. So they give you your capital, and there it states repurchase contribution 0, which means in 14 days, you make 14% and you get 100% of your capital out. So this is phenomenal. Obviously, you can't withdraw within the first 14 days. But I mean, if you can make 14% in 2 weeks, it's definitely something that we can compound. This other plan, I am very tempted to test it, but obviously I wanted to make sure that it's sustainable first. So I'll rather grow into this just for the sake of where I am currently. But 0.75 Bitcoin, 33% per week, duration 28 days. You grow 135%. That's what you can pull out, and they force you to reinvest 64.6%. So basically, you'll be left with like 0.4 Bitcoin in a nutshell that has to be in the platform, but you will still get your 0.75 Bitcoin plus profit out after 28 days. So I do believe this is great returns. I will be testing this out probably in the next few weeks and give you guys some feedback on it. But this is one of their best plans that they say is absolute value for money. 28 days, you're getting a great 33% you know, profit. But even on your first month, you're getting 35.4% of your capital. So that beats MTI, it beats even Hyper Capital. So, you know, I just do think that we still need to make sure that we're willing to take the risks, because obviously there's always risk in everything. So I wouldn't just go shove 10 Bitcoins into this plan unless it's 10 Bitcoins that has obviously been grown through the platform. This is a withdrawal that I did on the 20th. Obviously, 93% had to stay in the platform. So I then withdrew the 13% of what I could withdraw. I did it at around about 9, 10 o'clock at night. The next morning, around 8 o'clock, it hit my wallet. So didn't even take 24 hours, so a few hours, and it was in the wallet. They do have a referral program. They go 4 levels deep. So your first level that you sign up, you get 3%. So I obviously registered my wife under, just put a bit of money in her account to see that you do get your commission. The commission is available immediately upon deposit, and you can withdraw it immediately. So there's nothing that you have to reinvest. There's nothing that you have to purchase with the commission. The moment someone deposits the funds, you get your commission. What I really liked about this platform, and what really shocked me, and this is why I wanted to look into this company, is because you can sign up for free. You do not have to invest with them. You do not have to put any money into the system, but you can immediately qualify for referrals. So what does that mean? I do not have to put 1 cent into this company, but I can get friends and family who want to put money in, and whatever they put in, I make 3% on the first level, 2% on the next level, 1% on the third level, 1% on the fourth level. So it goes 4 levels deep. So that means I can sign Martin, make 3%. Martin can sign Tim, I still make 2%. So if you work on just that first, second level, you're making basically 5%. If you and your wife own the positions, you're making 5% of any money that you actually deposit yourself under the second position, which for me is a phenomenal return. And it's money that you can immediately withdraw. And then obviously your third and fourth level goes down to 1%. The only downfall with their plan is that if you reinvest, so if I take the 93% and I reinvest that, there is no commission on a reinvestment. So those people who compound weekly, it's not going to benefit us for the long term. So they only pay commission on new money that enters the system. However, if you focus on helping people, and you know the minimum deposit is, like I said, on some of their plans, 501 per Bitcoin, but some of their better plans is 76 Rand and 150 Rand. So it works out to 0.0005 Bitcoin, 3 zeros and a 5. And then the other one is $10, which works out to whatever the dollar price is at the time, 150 to 170 Rand. So you can really help a lot of people that do not have money, and they can actually start compounding every single week, making 7%, growing at around 28% compounded growth per month. And then when they have enough to withdraw, they can also take some of their withdrawal and put it into MTI. From MTI, grow all that, then put it into Uhuru or put it into Hyper Capital. So I really see this as a great platform to leverage capital, to compound our capital in Bitcoin, and then to grow into the other platforms. They then also have advertising. As you'll see on the side, you can actually put any of your advertising on the sides, and you can advertise Hyper Capital, you can advertise MTI, you can advertise Element, or whatever other business we are involved in. They do have advertising slots that you can purchase and have your own link run as an advert. And that's basically that, guys. please feel free to ask questions. Martin, feel free to jump in. Go for it.
Thanks, Carlo. Yeah, I just want to share my screen quickly as well. I think there might be something of interest here if I can find it. I don't know if I've got it open. No, it's not that one. Let me just go look over here quickly. Oh, there it is. Let me just see if I can share that. Share, where is it? There it is. Okay, so what I did was is a true melancholy would. I decided to put out a spreadsheet on if you had to invest $100. Now, obviously, the strategy would be to invest $100 on Monday and then $100 on Tuesday and $100 on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And of course, you're going to get your 7% for it. Now, obviously, the 7% that you're getting here is not the net figure because obviously there's a withdrawal fee of 1%. So you're actually getting out $6. Okay. But I just wanted to use this to see what happens if you actually compound it, because you can actually do that without withdrawing. And what you'll find is that after about week 10, there you can see in the big red dot, that if you do all the numbers, that after week 10 is actually where you're going to get your money out. In other words, that's where you're actually breaking even, where your capital lead comes out. So effectively, if you want to put a risk factor to it, if you're putting in $700, which is $100 per week, after 11 weeks, you'll see there's 1,473. Typically now you've got your capital back plus, of course, your profit, which in this case will be $400. Now, what I was also trying to figure out is this, because we thought initially, if you're starting off very small, let's say for argument's sake, you can start off with a minimum of $10. And all you do is obviously just take a 0, which is divided by 10. But for people that can't get into MTI, for argument's sake, who just don't have $200 or $200, maybe they can get into a platform like this and start off literally with like $10. Now, obviously, they don't have to do it every single day, but if they do, it accelerates the process. But then I was looking at the program and I was thinking to myself, good heavens, and some of these things you're making between 28 and 30% a month, where in some of the other things like Element, for argument's sake, not Element, like MTI, for argument's sake, you make 10% on your trade, but the money you're actually making in MTI mostly comes from building the network side. As a matter of fact, if you look at where most of the money comes from in MTI, it's certainly not from your trading, although 10%, well, I've been averaging between 8 and 10%, I must be honest, on certain weeks. But the most of the money in MTI comes from building the network. So I started thinking to myself, okay, if you take your money then from Filamante, and Filamante basically just means final, that's where they got it from, because they're so full of all these platforms they were inventing and going on, they're all falling apart. So they wanted to do something that will finally last forever, and that's how they came up with the name. Quite a young bunch of people that we spoke to on yesterday. Anyway, so I was thinking, if you're making 28 to 30% on this platform, why do you want to take it out of this platform and go invest it somewhere else? So one of the strategies might be, and we'll play around with some of the numbers, is to build these numbers up and get it to a point where you can take your profits and actually start investing in some of the bigger platforms like Carlo was mentioning. And once you start doing that and you're starting to getting 33%, then for diversification purposes, and if you are a networker, you can then put into MTI, because remember on this platform on Filamenta, there's very little commissions as far as building a network is concerned. But on MTI, you get rewarded handsomely for building a network. So there's always that comparison that one must just be aware of. All right, so just maybe something else I can share with you. Let me just share my platform as well quickly. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to choose, I'm actually going to show you how to make a deposit on the platform. So this is the dashboard where you get onto when you log in. This will be your dashboard, and you can then select a plan, which I already have, and then of course here you can view your lending plan, and here it tells you that yesterday I put in 0.011 Bitcoin into the actual plan, and if you can actually see that, let me just highlight that a bit there so you can see my cursor. There it is. Okay, so there you can see I put in 0.011 Bitcoin in yesterday. So what I want to do is today I want to put in some more Bitcoin, so I can then go into select a plan. Let me just see if that's actually the right way of actually doing it here quickly. Okay, so it was actually this plan, and there you can see your total plan 0.011, and then it gives you There was actually yesterday, I saw there's a date on here. Actually, maybe it comes up in the summary screen. It actually gives you a date and a time that you actually purchase. Anyway, so I'm going to buy with Bitcoin. So I'm just going to click on buy with Bitcoin. And here's what's very interesting. It gives you here the maximum that you can put in. Obviously, I'm not going to put in 1,49 Bitcoin. So you just change this. Okay. So I'm going to put in a 0,011. You can see I did that yesterday. There it is. Now, what's fascinating here is that it actually generates a QR code for you, which click on to place order. And then all you have to do is scan the QR code if you've got an Exodus wallet on your cell phone, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Obviously, you won't see it. So let me just get that up on my phone as we speak. And I'm going to click on place order. So you can see it busy doing its thing. Okay, yeah, it says warning. Now, this is important, okay, especially for you or you guys who are going to do a copy and a paste, okay. It says here, we do not know when to send the payment until you receive a callback from the coin. So we're going through coinpayments.net. Okay, so in other words, it's a subsidiary. It's like an outside agent that actually does their wallets for them, all right. And you can read through this. It says, please don't send more than the actual payment. So you've got to send the exact amount of money that's there, okay? Because otherwise they won't marry it up. And I think we had this experience. We did Lifestyle Galaxy. It was the same story. They also had a bit of a timer. It wasn't a timer yet I could see, but it had to go into the exact amount. But if you scan the QR code, it'll actually be exactly what you need. So you don't have to worry about that too much. If you got it on your cell phone, so much easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and scan the code. And it pops up and it says exactly 0,011. And I just want to check the Bitcoin address. It says 38F4. So that is 38F4 and it ends in KVNR, correct. Okay, so that's spot on. Normally when I take the photograph, it's not going to mess up the QR code, but I always like to check just in case. So that looks perfectly correct. I'm going to send the money across. It's now sending and it says continue and it's successful, it's been done. So I've now sent that money across. It takes about, from what I could see yesterday, probably about a half an hour because it needs the confirmations. It says here, please do not click cancel. So don't click cancel because then obviously it cancels this payment. You've got a whole lot of issues. You can click the status. I never bothered yesterday. But what it does do is it actually sends you an email to tell you that your money's actually gone through, that you've actually logged on, and that in fact the money is deposited. Okay, so all that is done via email. And then you can start playing around with all these little bits and pieces on the side here and go and have a look at, where the actual position is. Let's just have a look if we can see the one from yesterday. So let me see if I can pick that up here quickly.
Martin, go under payment accounts or history.
History, there we go.
And then it will tell you deposits and withdrawal.
There it is. Okay. Okay. Careful. I'm on the Zoom call now. Okay. There it is. There's the one that was approved yesterday. Okay. And this is obviously now the one that's actually waiting. But let me just see if I can pull up this. Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. Can you see that? It says the payment details. This is when it is submitted. Okay. And I can see approved. And I just want to see over here, it'll actually give you all the bits and pieces. So here it actually says to you, there's the plan number, the amount that was put in, created on the 22nd. You can see it even gives you the time, okay? The expected growth on expiry, earned, expires on, there it is. Okay, it gives you a countdown. So it actually counts it down, 6 days, 14 minutes and 35 seconds, obviously. Here it tells you what your maximum growth is, okay? And of course, then what your maturity is. You can see there's 0.0. This is obviously the percentage you're going to get in Bitcoin. And of course, here's your repurchase contribution. Okay. Now, I haven't done this part yet. I know Carlo's done it. That's why he did the initial presentation. But I just thought I'd show you. And then when this recording goes out, you can actually see then how to actually do a payment and how to actually buy a contract and which contract to actually buy. So, yeah, I hope that makes a bit of sense. Carlo, are we going to take some questions?
Yes, Martin, definitely.
Okay, cool. Should I stop the recording or should I just carry on?
I think stop the recording, and then at least we've got that nice, sweet and short, and then we'll go through the questions.
Okay, perfect.